Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSIDFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mega Ruler 31. I'm on location. Sorry, I don't have my normal setup, so audio might be a little funky, but bear with me. I wanted to get you this information out. My daughter had an interview for grad school, so I'm on the campus of a medical college in my car filming this. So hopefully we don't get any weird distractions. But the duels are tonight, and racing's back. So as you approach Daytona, I always say with this, you really want to go light because it's just a high variable thing. Just dip your feet in the water, enjoy the NASCAR's back, and then a couple races down the road, we'll start really putting some real cash out there. Just because it's not as high variance tracks or like a little bit more predictability and a little bit easier. But I wanted to point you in the right direction tonight for the duels. There's two of them, and I'm going to do a little bit differently this year because I think with these duels, what I've seen before is I've seen a lot of mixes, but I've seen a lot of cars work together manufacturer wise. That's why they're color coded. So the main rules are here is like play light. You usually stack the back at Daytona, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. I'm going to talk to you about that also. So the duels, what happened was yesterday they had two qualifying races. And with the two qualifying races, they set the pole for the so Chase Briscoe got the pole, and I forget who got in the second one, but we'll get that to the first person starting the duel. So all the odd drivers that finished in qualifying go in the first duel. All the even drivers go in the second duel. So we'll be talking about duel one here. It'll be the first one tonight. So most of the drivers will make it in on speed, but there's nine people that are out there kind of like hanging in the balance as non-charter drivers, and those are the ones in the blue. Truex, based on his speed, will definitely make it in. If Truex gets in on a racing spot and then somebody below him that made it will definitely be able to get in by on speed. So Truex gets in by speed, or Truex gets in by racing his way in. So Allgaier should be in yellow also because he's one that also needs to race his way in. So let me just put color on him. So Allgaier has a really good chance of making in on speed if Truex gets in, but he should probably get. I don't think he'll get the transfer spot because like I highly doubt that Allgaier can't beat the other guys that are automatically locked in. So uh but I think Allgaier has the best chance to race in here. JJ Yeley and Chandler Smith are in the same boat, but I favor Allgaier here. Now Helio Castroneves is an interesting and I'm glad he's in Heat One here because NASCAR is extending a provisional to exemplary talent from other racing disciplines. So Castroneves, obviously a champion in other places, fits that. So he can take a provisional and be the 41st car and start if he doesn't get a chance to race his way in. If he does that, though, he doesn't earn any prize money. So he wants to really get in by that. So that's probably the last resort for him. So I think he's going to go out there, but I don't think he wants to like tear up the car either. And I think the number's wrong on the car. I believe it's he's in 91 trackhouse. So let me just change that there. So this is the starting grid for the first duel. The guys in white are already in. Truex should be in. Castroneves is in as 41st unless he races his way in. Allgaier, I think, has the best chance to get the transfer spot, as they call it. And Yaley and Smith, I think, are going home because their cars aren't that great. So I really wanted to look at this in two ways. Like I said, I like how the cars work as manufacturers, and I've seen that before. And I've seen like the different groups work together, and then one of them try to pit early and get out there and beat the other one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then you have two like distinct groups like finishing the race. So I wanted to kind of pair them together and try to figure out what the racing positions for finish will be. So hide these because these columns really mean nothing. So I'm going to flip it here and we're going to talk about how I think they're going to finish in cash games. I really think that in this first one, there's so many Chevys that they're all going to work together. Toyotas did really well in qualifying. They looked really fast out there, but I don't like the strength of the Toyotas. And there's only like five of them out there. And I really don't think Briscoe's going to race. The only one that's really has raced recently has been Chase Elliott, and he got the pole and he went out there and like dominated and won the duel. But other times we just see people go out there, run a couple laps, and then pack it in early because you don't want to wreck your car that's on the pole. We'll see how Joe Gibbs Racing and Briscoe and his team approach this, but I have him as a fake because I think he's going to finish further on down. I also really don't like Chandler Smith and JJ Yeley's cars. I've seen the New York racing car catch on fire, lose gears and stuff, and Power Source of 66 has just been abysmal in NASCAR at some point. So I really don't like them. And Castronovis again, too. I think that he will probably want to try to keep this car clean also. Trackhouse might have a backup car, but I don't think they really want to use it. So I really like the Chevys in this duel here. And I think Byron or Elliott wins it. So I have them like 1 and 2 up here. I think Chastain is very aggressive. He likes running towards the front. I think he gets up there. Kyle Busch has been good on plate tracks and the Richest Childress car. I think Dylan and he will work together. Mike McDowell has been really good, and Hocevar have been really good on they're not restrictor plate tracks, but super speedways, let's call them that way. Allgaier is in a JR Motorsports car. Again, he might be conservative to try to keep this clean, but he's got to do some work to get in. So depending on what happens, if like there's a wreck and it takes out like Smith, Yaley, and Kastanovich, and he's automatically locked in, you might drop down to the bottom and not really try because again, you want to protect the car. JR Motorsports, I don't know if they have got a backup car here for this, but obviously they dominated Xfinity. They have some resources, but this car is completely different than the Xfinity car. But he does really well in Xfinity, and I think he'll be up there. Allmendinger back full time in this car. He's done pretty good on super speedways. I like him better on short tracks and on, of course, road courses. Haley's been good on super speedways too. He just sometimes just gets into bad luck. Ty Dillon's in a colleague car, and he's been okay on super speedways, but again, it's usually through attrition. So I drop him down there. And Stenhouse, again, is a single car team here. It's Hayek Motorsports. They kind of changed the name, but it's pretty much the same people. But again, I don't. He used to be super aggressive, but I don't see him doing that here. I see him kind of trying to make the race in the car that he had, and I'm trying to just keep it clean. So then, I think this Chevy group goes out there. I think they get the pitting right, and I think they go out there and lead and dominate. And then you'll have a line of Toyotas and Fords and that work together with the other like missing link people. But I think that they'll be able to keep a draft. There's more cars there, and I think it'll be more powerful than the 2, 4, 6, 7 to 9 Ford and Toyotas out there. I think the Chevys will definitely have the advantage, having like 12 cars. They have 14, but again, I don't think Yaley and Castronovich stay with the draft. Maybe Castronovich does. So I think this is how it works in cash. So then Reddick, Wallace, Gibbs, Truex with the Toyotas running really well, finished in the second group, had with the Fords behind them and Priest, Barry, Smith. I think they work together, but I think the Toyotas lead it, and I think the Fords with three like misfit heart Fords. I mean, they're decent drivers, but they don't have any teammates or anything. They're younger. Well, Smith and Barry are still in their second year up there, so they have experience in super speedways, but not as much. Priest is pretty good here, but I mean, he did have that big wreck here, so that might be the weighing in the back of his mind. So in cash, I feel this is how it's going to shake out. So your prime plays would be Byron, Chastain, and McDowell. The ones I feel if in the top 11 are be cash, GPP, and then I'm fading Priest, I'm fading Barry, I'm fading Smith. I just don't think the Fords keep up here. They might mix in again. It might be a mixed race, but I think it's going to be a lineup race. It's going to be the Chevys working together and Toyota and Fords working together. That's how I'm going to live and die on this one in cash. I mean, you don't really play cash in these, but you know, if you're looking for like Model One, this is Model One, which I think is the more conservative one. Uh, and then Briscoe, I think, is pretty dangerous to play. And then there's a little bit of upside with Chandler Smith and Yaley, but again, I just their equipment and stuff doesn't look good. Oh, I forgot to show you. If you watch the Clash video, we did pretty well there. $87 came back at 251. Pretty good day at 34. I was on I wasn't on Gillian as much in cash, but I messed up my lineup. I didn't change him out for I forget whoever I had was the prime play there, but ended up working out pretty good for you. So we had a good day to start the season. So let's look at GPP in the first clash. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you so you can see it here. So again, it's the same drivers, but this one we're going to go with the Toyota and the Fords are the dominant, and the Chevys missed the boat and they pit too early or pit too late, and just it doesn't work out. So I think Reddick and Wallace could be the ones to win this one. Ty Gibbs and Truex up there, followed by Priest, Berry, and Smith if there's the group that's working together. And then the second group would be the Chevys would Byron, Elliott, Chastain, Bush, Dillon. That's the order I feel they're going to finish. And again, I think Stenhouse and Casanova save their cars with Briscoe, and then Smith and Yaley are still at the bottom. So there is no real dominators in this because you don't really have many fast laps on a super speedway, or laps led really don't amount to much. So like my DK projection is just pure finish position and place differential. So it's more of a raw DK point. So they might get a little bit higher if they do pick up any fast laps or things like that. But they're spread out so much it's super hard to predict. So I don't think they matter. I just want to factor them out and just factor raw data here. So obviously, in this GPP model, like Reddick, Truex, and Zane Smith are going to be the ones that I want in playing in like a giant GPP. And then Cash is pretty much the top 10 there finishing, but I put Elliott as a GPP just because at his price point, he doesn't get like 4x if he finishes there. So I think it's a little bit risky. Same thing with Kyle. And then like Dylan McDowell and Hocevar, I think you're getting really risky with them. So even though they come back at 4x, I think they have some upside more than a regular GPP, but I don't think that they're. Uh, I like them better in GPP play in this model just based on fishing position, but that's why I want to call them up with the upside dominator. And then your GPPs are your GPPs. The only two fades in this model, if it does end up working out this way, would be Ty Dillon and Chase Briscoe. So let's move on to Clash 2. Let me just change what I'm sharing. Let's stop sharing. Pull up Clash 2. Or Duels 2, sorry. I call it Clash, but it's the Duels. Okay, so we'll start with the cash model here. And make it a little bit bigger for you to see. So this one has a little bit of an advantage because they would have seen like what happened with Kasanovich if he is going to be taking one of those provisional ones, or if he's going to be the 41st driver. So they're going to be able to see who has more of a chance to be in the race. So sorry, let me try it out one more time. Get that to be a little bit bigger, 100%. Again, I apologize. I don't have my normal setup here. Fighting a cold in a parking lot. It's like 30 degrees out here. This is dedication for you because we want to make some money tonight. Okay, there's okay. So in this one, Cindric was the other one that was made the cut or got on the pole, so he'll be on the outside pole. And then in this one, Jimmy Johnson's going to make it in on speed. Corey LaJoie, I think, has the best chance to race his way in. And then Alfredo and BJ McLeod are going to be left not being able to make it in. So you're either going to have four or five cars that don't make it in. So in this one, you have a bigger mix of Ford and Toyota. So I think it's going to go the other way. So in cash, again, these are just data points. If you look at the categories, they don't mean anything because they're not titled correctly. I was just throwing stuff in columns to do formulas for me. Okay. So here, I really think Logano's been good at these races. Logano, except for the one where he was out there and got wrecked. I think Cindric got into him a couple years ago in his rookie year or whatever. But I really think the Fords are strong with Blaney and Logano, Keselowski and Busher and Custer get up there, followed by the Toyotas. I know the Toyotas were strong, but I really think there's more Fords, and I think they let the Toyotas work with them. But I don't think that I think when it all said and done, like the Toyotas, especially like Penske and RFK, like kind of work together more and kind of like phase out the Toyotas to try to get better positioning there. So Bell, Hamlin, Jones, and Nemechek, I think, finish up there. Gregson, he's a little bit too aggressive, so I have him as a cash play, maybe a borderline GPP, but he's been decent. Herbst, the rookie, I see him finishing kind of towards the tail of this like Ford and Toyota one, and then Gillian, and then Cedric, I think, takes care of his car. I think he stays up there with the pack, but I think he stays like behind the pack just to try to be able to save the car. And then on the other side, you have a mix of just some Chevys here, but not really strong Chevys. So you have Hendricks, you have with Larson and Bowman, Suarez, Shane Van Gisberger, Jimmy Johnson. He just hasn't been super fast, or I think he's going to be a fade here. I think he's going to be down towards the bottom. Alfredo, uh, he might be he or LaJoy might be the best bet to race their way in here. Cody Ware, probably going to finish towards the bottom. So Johnson's probably going to make it in, racing his way in, and then Ware's probably going to make it in on speed. And then BJ McLeod, like it's just fun to have him there. But usually the Rick Ware cars and Live Fast like hang out towards the back and wait for a wreck to happen and then try to advance that way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They like lose a draft and really they're just hoping for attrition to get up enough spots to be able to race their way in. And it's worked a couple times, but not super often. So probably Alfredo and McLeod. I don't know. Alfredo or LaJoy, it's gonna be close there, but uh LaJoy is not the same driver he's been like when he dominated Atlanta. Where's with Spire. Now he's Rick Ware. It's just not the same equipment and everything. Plus, is it this one where the two guys got tossed? Maybe it was the first one. I know a couple Rick Ware mechanics got or crew chiefs got thrown out of the race. Yeah, it was Gillian and it was Cody Ware because the cars were too light or too heavy or something like that. So they'll be having a backup crew chief with that also. But anyways, looking at this again, I think the Fords and Toyotas, if you want to go to the Toyotas here, I get it. That's fine too. Then like Bell, Hamlin, Jones are probably where you want to go as your primes or Nemechek because he's got some place differential there. But I really think Blaney, Busher, and Custer is where I want to go for the primes. You see the cash are the top 11 there, and then Gillian is GPP for the Ford group. Cindric is a fake, because I just fear he's going to finish like lower on down just to save the car. GPP for the Chevys, Jimmy Johnson, Alfredo, Ware, and McLeod are fade. I think that they're potentially be off the pace, and LaJoy is the only one that I think has the most upside there potential as a GPP. So let me switch to GPP build in this. Why do I keep on calling them heats in this duel? So here, I just don't think the Chevy. If you want to build a Chevy winning lineup, that's fine here. But I'm going with that the Chevys and Toyotas work together, not with the Fords, and that they go out and in this build in this scenario that they work together, and the Toyotas being such dominant cars in the qualifying, just go out there and have the speed and work really well together. That kind of mix in with the Chevy. So I think Bell, Hamlin, Jones finished top three. Larson, Bowman, and Suarez. You can flip those if you want to go with the Chevy build up there. That's fine. Then Van Gisberger, Nemechek, Gregson, Herbst. I think. I mean, you probably could flip flop those two. Let me just do that here. I just keyed the number in wrong when I did it. It's not going to change much. Um, but still, it makes him a nice cash play, and it still gives Noah a lot of place differential if he starts and finishes. Starts 11th, finishes 10th, 36 points. That's pretty solid. But then Logano's gonna be a fade, like starting second. GPP is gonna be like Blaney, Keselowski, and Buescher because they don't lose as much place differential in their finishing place, but still you're only talking like 2x here. Cole Custer still starting 16th, even if the Fords finish back, still has some upside, so it could be a cash play. Gillian and Cindric are the fades. Johnson Alfredo have a little bit of upside here based on the Fords who's starting up close, like losing if like the Chevy Toyota group is the one that goes out and dominates, and like are the winner, and then the second wave of the Fords like finish like behind the pack and like finish like that, and then again you have your bottom dwellers, your back markers that we call them here. So that's what I got for you. Again, it's a lot of speculation. Play light. You can leave salary on the table here, even up to like 10K. You don't necessarily need to stack the back here. There's a lot of floor because it's not a 40 car race. So you don't have the extreme place differential as the back getting up there, and you don't have as much risk losing place differential or finishing position with the cars that are starting up close because you only have like 22 or 23 cars in the race. So if you have any questions, put them chat below. Hit me at MegaRule31 on Twitter. X, you know what it's called. For more information of FSIDFS, it's in the description of the video. Our packages are really cheap for NASCAR, and you're going to come up on like the truck and Xfinity race. And if it's Xfinity, I should be able to do a video, but truck is going to be speculation. It's same day qualifying, and anytime that happens, you want to get in the Discord because you'll get the updated projections and plays and things like that. But I can't get them out to you. There's just not enough time to do the calculations, finish the sheet, do a video, produce the video, send out the video, and by that time it's going to be race time. So your best bet is signing up. Again, we're really, really cheap. We do really well in other sports too. Charlie's been absolutely killing it in soccer. Keats in NBA. We got MLB coming up. I cover that, and with we'll see who the team's going to shape up for that. So lots of things coming up for you. Pretty exciting. So looking forward to the season. So good luck tonight in your races. Thanks for putting up for me, recording out here in the parking lot, and I will try to get the trucks video out, speculation tonight, and then Xfinity, and then we'll have the 500 one. So stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do share with your friends. We'd love more people to come and view these, and you know how to get a hold of me if you have any questions. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.